Hello and welcome to another Overlord lore video, and today we are going to talk about some absolutely interesting content that had sadly been cut from season number 4, the mind control abilities of Ainz Ooal. But before we are going to take a look at it, let's take a look at my Patreons and thank them for supporting this channel. Also thanks to all users of the YouTube thanks function who made one-time donations. Also please check out my fantasy stuff, link to it in the description. Now with that said, Ainz Ooal's mind control had been a very subtle ongoing side plot during the entirety of the Overlord story, but sadly almost nothing of it has made it into the anime. It all started in the first novel, right after Ainz Ooal saved Enri and her sister Nemu from the slain theocracy, who disguised as knights from Baharut raided the border region in order to lure Gazev's Stronov into an ambush. And Ainz, who initially assumed that undead and heteromorphs weren't really that scary or unusual to the people of this new fantasy world, saw how shocked both sisters reacted to Ainz, and therefore he decided to conceal his face and bones. But since he had already revealed himself as an undead overlord, he needed to alter the memory of both sisters, and this had cost him an enormous amount of mana. Once he had sat down and talked to the village elder, he really noticed that his limbs felt like lead because he had lost so much mana just by correcting an event that was a minute at most in the past. The next time mind control is brought up is during the raid of the Grey Tomb by workers, and after Asher was killed by Sheltir and Hikaran and Irmina were brought to one of the 5 worst. As nesting space, only Roberdijk remained, and he was used as Ainz Ooal's personal guinea pig. He wanted to explore his mind and the nature of faith-based magic, because it seems that there's a consensus that faith in a deity is always required in order to cast it, something that is both alien to the rules of Yggdrasil Online that now have imposed themselves onto this new world, and to Ainz Ooal's own knowledge, because Neuronist had her healers heal the prisoners in the Chamber of Truth, and later scroll production was established because healing magic was still working in this new world, without any faith. So therefore Ainz Ooal, who is still very much curious about how the world works, decided to conduct his own little experiment. He would intrude repeatedly into the mind of Roberdijk and alter it, until after many changes, Roberdijk was worshipping a rock. Not the earth element, not the earth itself, not a deity of earth, or the soil as a part of Mother Nature. No, he was just worshipping a random rock, because Ainz had altered Roberdijk's very memories so much that he was utterly convinced that this was truly his chosen deity. Now it should also be noted that at this point his mind had pretty much turned into pudding. So after all of this, Ainz Ooal, by his own admission, became very good at mind control and therefore could use it to solve a rather difficult problem that had been omitted in the anime entirely, while Senburo Gugu. Yes, I'm going to talk about these two also, but not in this video. So anyways, while Senburo Gugu had good relationships with the dwarves, and while it was most certainly not a coincidence that one of the Lizardman's treasures, the infinite booze, was the treasure his tribe possessed, the entire journey to the Dwarven Kingdom was something very foggy and distant to Senburo at that point, since it had been years that lay between his last visit and the current timeline. And again, I also blame one certain Lizardman treasure and its excessive consumption for this memory loss. Anyway, during the trip Senburo Gugu failed to remember where the entrance to the city had exactly been. So Ainz Ooal offered to search the memory of Senburo Gugu, which after an assurance that Ainz wouldn't distort or alter his memories, Senburo agreed to. And after an intense search, for the entrance to the Dwarven City wasn't exactly on page 1 of the search result, Ainz Ooal ran out of mana, which is quite the accomplishment considering how big and overmaxed his mana bar actually is. But at the last second, before it ran out, Ainz managed to actually spot the entrance to the underground cave system that connected not only the dwarven cities to the surface, but also the mountains of Azalesia in general. So there's real progress achieved in how Ainz Ooal had learned to use his mind control and memory manipulation abilities from being drained, from finding and slightly altering memories barely a minute old, to excessively manipulating the very mind of a person, changing him beyond salvation. Which is still a better fate than which Robert Dyke has received in the web novel, by the way, to being able to find the memory of an unknown entrance among the foggy, booze-altered memories of a lizard man. Someone with a very different biology and sense of perception. And with that journey now laid out in its entirety, I say thank you very much for watching, and special thanks to Bad Guy, Bad Burrito 316, Be There, Ben C, Brandon, Chrissy, Crowley 0221, Sia, Dead Slime, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Demon Xenomorph 1987, Devin Downen, Ding Dong, Duckwagon, Dystopia, Dystopia II, Enigmatic Unicorn, Feralchivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, J. Morris, Chromius, Legendarius, Lelouch Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Merovec, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Normal Toad, O'Kill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Pantum, Personage, Primus 11, oh god, Q, Dash, Nay K, Cos, Dash P, Shergox is Daddy, it's getting worse, Shergox is Daddy, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Super Tier Magic, Batista Bomb, Staris, Ted, Texas Deer, the Orc War Boss, Rocket Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito 27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, and Zonagon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon on my next video.